We're just going to talk. Welcome inside the Mountain West Network studio as we continue our conversation with the men's basketball coaches in the Mountain West. We're now pleased to be joined by Utah State head coach Steve Morrill, who is now in his 16th season in Logan. Time flies, doesn't it?
Time flies. Anybody that's my age knows how quickly it goes, and coaching is a profession where you're so wrapped up that the years go by, and I've been fortunate to stay at Utah State that long.
So you're no stranger to the teams that are in the Mountain West Conference. Mountain West Conference wasn't around when you were at Colorado State, but the teams, a lot of them are the same. What do you know about the programs, and does that help you at all, even though you're 16 years removed, to knowing the places that you're going, to the arenas you're going? Does that help you at all as you go into the Mountain West Conference?
I think it makes me aware of what I'm in for, and should help me explain to the players where we're going. How challenging it is trying to win at UNLV and at the Pit and at Vegas and on and on and on. So, I think there's some familiarity there that's positive. Everything's changed in the amount of time that I've been gone playing all these teams. But the old WAC, way back when, was a heck of a league.
Yeah.
And very similar in terms of strength of the league in those days as to what it is now.
You have built Utah State into a national name. You've been to NCAA tournaments. You've won conference championships. How much pride do you have in helping build what you've built in Logan?
Well, we feel good about it. When you've went to 8 NCAA tournaments in 15 years and won 7 league championships and averaged 24 wins a year, you've been able to keep working. In the profession of coaching, you got to win to keep working. And, we feel good about it, but we also know the challenges that lie ahead moving into the Mountain West, and we want to prove that we belong.
How do things change at all for you guys going into the Mountain West? There were teams last year that came over for the WAC that struggled. How do things change, if at all, for you?
All things change. The level of competition, the size of the crowds, it's very exciting, but very challenging at the same time. And we're not naive in thinking that we're just going to waltz in and show everybody what's up.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. We've got, as I said just a second ago, we've got to prove that we belong in this league, and maybe that we're a little better than some people think. And that's going to be a day-by-day, game-by-game thing. We've just got to keep plugging away.
The coaches that did come over last year said that the depth ended up being the biggest issue. They could play 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. It was the depth. Do you feel like you have the depth that can reinforce what you have in the starting lineup?
I always love to play 10, 11 guys. Sometimes you can't. And I don't think you really know. Right now, I think we're going to be able to play that many players. But until you get into the season and deal with possible injuries like we had last year, freshmen that aren't quite ready, that could happen. A variety of things could happen. But on paper, I feel like we have some depth. We'll see as the season goes along.
Let's talk about some of your veterans in Preston Medlin and Spencer Butterfield. What do they bring to the table that you'll be leaning on them to do what?
Anytime you have seniors, it's very important that they set the tone for how you practice, the system you run, what the emphasis is, whether it's defense, rebounding, which we always try to emphasize. They're the ones that set the tone, the guys that have been around a while. Preston Medlin's been in our program longer than anyone, and we expect a great deal of leadership from him. Spencer Butterfield is just a hard-nosed, tough competitor, and if anybody on our team wants to see how to approach practice every day, there's the guy to watch. Jared Shaw is a very talented player that had a great junior season after transferring from Oklahoma State. We're counting on him a great deal. We have 5 seniors. Those are 3 of them, and our seniors got to do a good job.
What does he – I mean, he played big-time basketball at Oklahoma State. How does that translate into what you want him to do for you?
Big-time basketball sometimes is wherever you're at. We've had a lot of teams through the years that have been ranked in the top 20 and have been in the top 30 RPI. So, Jared was in a high-level league and didn't get to play a lot. And he came to our place and showed that he can play. Averages 14 points, 8 rebounds last season, shows that he's a capable player. And I think he's constantly trying to prove that that he can get her done.
Talk to me about Danny Berger. He collapsed, cardiac arrest. He's going to play again. Was it ever in your mind that maybe he wouldn't be able to play? Or he shouldn't play?
Certainly. The first thing that was in my mind was that he might not live.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a scary time for all of us involved. And, I joke with Danny. I had our team in a workout this summer, a legal workout I might add, but a workout that the NC2A allows us to do in the summer. And, I said, we just can't have the injuries we had last year. Dang near killed me. And Danny says, me too. So he had a great sense of humor about it. And, I didn't know if he'd play again, but our doctors were very positive right from the start that he might be able to play again. And he's got a defibrillator thing in his chest, and away we go. He's been a regular guy out there.
How does he look compared to how he looked before he collapsed? Does he look like the same guy?
Better.
Really?
He looks better because he's really worked hard in the weight room. Danny by nature is thin, unlike some of us, and he just he's worked hard in the weight room, and he shows some definition, and so he looks stronger and better, and I think he's gained a great appreciation for his career that almost was taken from him, as was his life. So I think he's real excited. You
bring in Tennille Rowland. He was a JUCO All-American. In your experience in college basketball, what does it take when you get a guy who's had success at that level? What does it take to be equally as successful or even better at this level?
It's a big jump. I was a junior college player. We've had a lot of junior college players at Utah State that have done a great job for us, but you're stepping up in competition and in people you play against night in and night out, the guys you practice against day in and day out. And Tennille had some ups and downs last year, but he's gotten more physical. When you're his size, he's not very big, when you're his size, you got to make up for it by being more physical, and he's really working on that. He's gained some confidence. I think he'll surprise a few people this year. I think he'll have a real solid senior year.
Nationally speaking, the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum has a reputation for being one of the best places to watch a college basketball game, one of the loudest places to watch a college basketball game. Tell us what it's like there when you guys tip off. What's the atmosphere like for people who have never been there?
Come see it. That's what I'd tell them. Come see it. You'll enjoy it. Often compared to the Duke atmosphere, the Cameron Crazies. Our students are compared to them all the time. We get about 4,000 of them. That's how many seats they have, and they, generally speaking, fill those seats up, and they are right on the edge.
Yeah.
They go right to the edge, and occasionally they go over it. Most of the time, they go right to the edge, and they're very clever, very loud, and they set the tone for the whole arena. We have 10,000 night in and night out with our 6,000 season ticket base and the 4,000 students. It's a marvelous place to play college basketball, just a great atmosphere. I've had a lot of coaches through the years that have played us there, and they'll tell me when they shake my hand after the game, doesn't get any better than this. This is good.
Was there a point that it got to where it's now? I mean, was it like that the minute you stepped on campus, or was it a gradual progression to the atmosphere and the excitement that you now have in that arena?
I grew up in Utah, and Utah State's always been a good basketball school, and had a lot of really good players and coaches, and Larry Eustace, the Colorado State coach now, had done a great job there when I came, and we were just able to build on that a little bit, and our season ticket base increased. As the years went by, and so it's always been a good place that just we hope continues to keep growing.
You open up against USC. That's quite the opener, and someone that it's got a national name. The Trojans have been to the NCAA tournament. You've been to the NCAA tournament. That's a heck of a way to open up a basketball season.
Yeah, and it's hard to get Pac-12, SEC, Big 12 teams, BCS type teams to come to Logan. In fact, we haven't had one in about 30 years, and we have two this year. We have USC, and then we have Mississippi State coming from the SEC. So, those should be fun games, challenging games, hopefully games that help prepare us for the Mountain West.
Can't wait to get a taste of Aggie basketball here in the Mountain West. Stu Morrill, I appreciate your time. Welcome
Thanks.
to the Mountain West. Look
Enjoyed
forward to
it.
watching you guys play.
Okay.
That's Stu Morrill, the head coach of the Utah State Aggies.